Hi, it's Louise at Spiral Bright Insight. I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but I have just been exploring the chart for tomorrow, the 22nd of February, and there is just too much sort of insight coming through. I just feel I have to get on share. So just sort of an energy check-in initially. I personally am finding the energy today incredibly challenging in terms of it just feels hard to describe. I would say the energy feels light, but I feel really heavy within that lightness, which sounds like quite a paradox, but I do feel incredibly tired, incredibly drained, without any real reason for feeling like that. And everything just feels really hard work. So I'm kind of assuming it's not going to be just me, but it does feel very intense. That certainly, goes without saying. But if we sort of consider that tomorrow, Saturday, is the 22nd of February, we are working with the energy of the 22-2. Many people describe this as a portal. Whenever we have repeating numbers, we are drawn to explore what the numbers have to interpret, to deliver to us in terms of messages and understanding. And we're working with sort of the 222. This is an angelic number. It's high frequency. The 2 is very much about coming together, cooperation, collaboration, as opposed to competition. So rather than dividing, we are very much coming into unity. And it's also the number of the master builder. So very much a master number. So it is very much a day to really, I guess, stand side by side rather than feeling sort of a strong sense of separation. We also need to bear in mind that the date tomorrow, so 22 to 2025, all adds up to the number 6. So we're working with the universal energy of the number 6, which is very much linked to healing, to caregiving, to unconditional love, to nurturing, to tending for, to counseling, supporting, and generally, very beautiful creative energy coming through the 6. So that is gorgeous when you combine that with the 22-2. In terms of the chart, the sun is going to be conjunct a beautiful star called Fomalhaut tomorrow, and that is in Pisces Austrinus. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce a lot of these fixed stars and constellations, but 4 degrees of Pisces is where the sun is meeting this beautiful star, and Fomalhaut is one of the royal stars. So immediately we have this lift. This is very high frequency energy. There are 4 royal stars in the heavens, and they are said to support and hold up the heavens. They are like pillars of cosmic consciousness. Very supportive, very protective, sort of overseeing, watching, guiding, and holding space for us. And of course, whenever the sun conjoins a fixed star, we get this kind of boost of light, of energy, of passion, of life force, of brilliance coming through. So it really enhances and magnifies and heightens the frequency coming through to us. Now, Fomalhaut is a really, really beautiful star. It is associated with Archangel Gabriel. So we have sort of the energy of the messenger. Obviously Gabriel came to announce something very special, and very much the archangel of communication, of teaching. And when we're working with this star, particularly if you have it aspected in your chart, it really enhances and activates energies of creativity, of vision, of the dream state. Very much the spiritual seeker will step forward, and this kind of gives us the ability to connect with something beyond the physical realm, which is very much kind of the role of Pisces in astrology. So when we have strong Fomalhaut, we can perceive beyond what we are being shown. And it can often kind of create the sense of the outsider, because if you are strongly connected to Fomalhaut, it is likely that you are vibrating at a different frequency. So you may feel different. You may feel that you have different ideals, different values, different opinions, and a different way of seeing the world. But that is because you are sort of you are within a different sort of level or realm of consciousness. Fomalhaut kind of gifts a real strong spiritual authenticity and the ability to, as I said, see beyond, perceive beyond what is being shown, which kind of helps to resist corruption and deceit and lies and illusion. So really interesting star. It also, because it's so sort of soft and gentle and linked to light and higher consciousness and higher frequency, Fomalhaut will often shine a light for us in the darkness. And again, if you have strong Fomalhaut connections, you are likely to be a guide or a light for others in times of strife and challenge. So Fomalhaut can have sort of themes of victimhood and sacrifice and suffering, and often if you are sort of associated with this starseed connection, you may find that you have a lot of experience and opportunities to experience victimhood and suffering and sacrifice in this lifetime. But that is part of the life path and part of the life journey, and really it is a great teaching tool. It will help you to be able to find the light in the darkness, to see the purpose in the pain and the suffering, and to really sort of step into that very sort of devotional sense and state and perception when you understand that all is sacred, even in the challenge. So there can be addiction, there can be escapism, which obviously will come through the challenge of being in a slightly different frequency, in a different realm, in a different dimension to everybody else, and the challenges that that brings. It's a very sensitive star, very transformative. And there's also a really strong link to Christ consciousness. So often when people have this star in their chart, it can indicate past lives as an Essene or with a link to Christ in some way. But if we think of Christ consciousness as really a state of unconditional love, of acceptance, of compassion for all, of forgiveness, these qualities will also shine through really strongly. So as well as this beautiful conjunction, we also have, it's the day before Mars is going to station direct. So Mars is stationary, which may actually be contributing to my feeling of everything feels like hard work, because Mars is not moving at this time. So Mars in Cancer is requiring still that we go within, but we're about to really take what we have learnt through this extended retrograde period of Mars in initially in Leo and then moving back into Cancer, and really connecting to our inner world, our inner emotional, our emotional intelligence and our sense of who we are. And as Mars starts to move forward as of Sunday, we're going to get a bit of a kickstart, and hopefully we're going to get a bit of a life sort of energy, life force boost as Mars starts to move forward again. So in addition to that, so we've kind of got this Piscean energy, really strong Pisces energy in the chart. I will be sharing my new moon video about Pisces, where I sort of drill down deeper into that energy. But it is very mystical, very ethereal, very dreamlike imagination, sort of strong visionary ability, psychic sensitivity, spirituality, all very, very pertinent and stepping forward at this time. Mars obviously stationed, so it's like this pause, this cosmic pause. And we also have, and this is really beautiful, because I have been looking at and exploring Salacia this afternoon. Salacia is going to be exactly conjunct Venus tomorrow at 9 degrees of Aries, and this is such a beautiful archetype. So Salacia is one of the dwarf planets. She lies out in the Kuiper belt, and she was discovered in 2004. And she is the goddess of the salty seas. She was the wife of Neptune, very much linked to the ocean, to the depths, to kind of the divine feminine, sensuality, seduction, a real beguiling type of energy, very linked to mermaids. So if you have strong Salacia in your chart, it is possible that you have a connection to the mer people, to mer beings, and to that energy. Obviously, very mystical, very mysterious, mythical. Mermaids often, seen as sirens, the ability to transfix and hold hold people mesmerized and spellbound by their beautiful song. But when we have strong Salacia in the chart, and with this beautiful connection to Venus tomorrow, it is active now and it's going to be active for the next few days, and then Venus will turn retrograde and move away from Salacia, but will then return. We are very much reminded of gifts that are coming through, a connection to the ocean, to the depths, to the waters, also values. But what I love about Salacia is she represents that beautiful sort of sparkling, shimmering, effervescent light that is created when the sunlight hits the surface of the water, that beautiful diamond, sparkling, shimmering light, sending sort of beams in all directions, very much like diamond energy. And of course, we need to make note that Salacia at 9 degrees of Aries is in a trine to Cancri, which is at 7 degrees of Leo. So there is this beautiful kind of flow between the diamond planet, diamond light codes, and Salacia, who is also activating those codes through that sort of surface reaction of the light. But we are reminded with Salacia that light, that frequency, that shimmering can often be a distraction. And I'm reminded of the phrase, all that glitters is not gold. With Salacia, you are often required to go beneath, to go into the depths, to plunge beneath the surface, to really explore the beauty and the wisdom that lies within, rather than sort of being caught up or buying into or being distracted by surface appearance and the sort of what is being shown to you and what you see at face value. So Salacia can sort of remind us that, things might look amazing. They might look sparkly and precious and amazing, but actually it's not always quite what is sort of beneath and behind that sort of cover of the book. So we need to really sort of explore possibly, and obviously with Venus here reminding us of the value of doing this, that appearances are not always indicative or reflective of the true reality and truth. And often, Salacia will require us to really explore kind of that boundary or the blurred lines between clarity and truth and illusion. So that is something that may be coming up over the weekend. She requires that we go beneath the surface to connect with our value. There is a strong link to emotional liberation and how we can liberate ourselves when we connect truly to how we feel and to the truth of our emotions. And, I should have said this earlier on in the video perhaps, but Salacia is said to be the higher octave of Venus. So when these two bodies come together, there is such a beautiful blending, fusing of this incredible energy, beauty, creativity, art, sensuality, all coming together. So again, tomorrow is going to be such a profound day for you if you are an artist or you want to express yourself or express your creativity. It's such a really beautifully heightened day for that. For the energy will be holding space for you to do that. She also, because of the connection with the ocean, and the currents, the cosmic currents, the tides, the waves, the water, there is a real sort of reminder that we need to remain adaptable and to be able to go with the flow. And sometimes we may be sort of almost drift out to sea or be pulled by the currents, pulled this way, pulled that way. And, in this time especially, it's really important that we don't try and get too fixed to one state of being, because we are in this, profound stage of metamorphosis and transformation. And again, Salacia is reminding us of the importance of not trying to stick to or cling to one way of being as we do, work with all these beautiful energies, but very much about flow. So she is here to really help us to explore what lies beyond, kind of that gold, that diamond that lies beneath the surface, and to look through potentially any sort of attempts to distract or deceive, if that may be happening in any aspect of life. And she also reminds us that, you know, it isn't just kind of the reflective light on the top that is important. It is the darker depths and that shadow and those hidden aspects that lie deep within that are also really important, and that we need to work with both. So this is about working with shadow and light, which is a repeating theme. It's constant at the moment. It's about integrating both of those states of being. So that for me is really interesting, particularly if we just look ahead a little bit and make a note that Salacia is going to be conjunct the sun and the moon at the solar eclipse in Aries coming up in March. So that is something that we will be talking about. Salacia also, because of the connection with the oceans and the waters, is very much sort of reminding us of Lemurian frequencies and dolphin energy and the importance of play and lightness of being, those sort of beautiful turquoise waters. You know, tie that into the fact that we've got the Fomalhaut sun conjunction. We also have the moon. Obviously, the moon is moving much more quickly than any of the other cosmic bodies, planetary bodies within the chart, but the moon tomorrow will be conjunct to the galactic center. So again, this is helping us to, at a very emotional level, connect to consciousness and wisdom and cosmic wisdom that is beyond. So bringing in that Fomalhaut connection, bringing in the Salacia connection, really stretching us beyond. And of course, the galactic center is higher cosmic wisdom, higher consciousness, but also the homing signal that is always calling us back to source energy and to the truth of who we are, asking us to sort of step beyond the 3D and to really expand our awareness. So that again just feels really, really important. And I'm sure there's a million other things going on in the chart which I haven't brought into this video, but I hope you understand why I felt it was really important to kind of come on and just share what I was seeing and what I've been learning. Because, you know, for me, I didn't know much about Salacia until a few hours ago, and I've just been mesmerized by her energy and some of the archetypes and the stories and the associations coming through. So absolutely beautiful. The fact that she is going to be so activated over the coming months, you know, first with Venus tomorrow, then Mercury will just about meet her. Mercury will go retrograde at 9 degrees, so he's not going to quite get there. But obviously the sun will come round, and then Mercury will eventually, when he finishes his retrograde, will move and meet with Salacia. And of course, Pam Gregory was talking about Salacia in her recent video, but also with the association and the link to the light codes and also light language. And again, that feels really, really resonant with me. I think I talk about it in my Pisces new moon video. I recorded that a couple of days ago, so I can't quite remember what I've said. But again, it just feels like with Venus conjunct Salacia, you know, this is about gifts and talents and abilities coming through, being activated. And this is very much because we're in Aries, you know, this is something that may be taking us beyond what we have done before, very pioneering, sort of, you know, almost having to take a leap of faith. It might feel a bit risky, but it is about really sort of connecting with the truth of who you are through these beautiful energies and being able to perhaps see beyond the illusion and the sparkling and the shimmering and the distraction and, you know, oh, it looks amazing, but actually it is taking us beyond to the authenticity of who we are ultimately. And that is what Aries can really support us to do, particularly when aligned with Venus. So I hope you've enjoyed my sort of ramblings, my sharings, my insight. As always, it's kind of just an opportunity for me to come on to talk about these energies and what I'm learning, and hope that it's going to resonate as much with you as it does with me. Particularly, I think if you've got Fomalhaut in your chart, or you have got strong Salacia, and again, you know, you would need to look that up in your own birth chart. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So have an amazing weekend. Let's sort of pray for the light, sort of the lightness to come and release us from the heaviness. But I think sometimes you can feel heavy because it is almost grounding, and I am sitting here with my grounding mat under my feet today, you know, and it is also an invitation to honor where you are at and not to judge where you're at and see that there is anything wrong with that. So yeah, it's just a little extra message there, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much if you've got to the end of this video. Just a reminder that I do have a super thanks button on my channel now, as well as a PayPal address, which I will put in the description box. So if you do receive value for my content, you know, and you want to show gratitude for that, that's one way you can do it. But also just by liking the video, sharing the video and commenting is equally as sort of important and valuable to me as well. So let me know what you think, and I will be back soon. Thanks very much for watching.